Welcome back to episode 5 of Philm Study. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about some NFL topics. We're going to go ahead and just get into those. You already know where I'm going with this. Today, the Pittsburgh Steelers have officially signed Aaron Rodgers to their roster. It's a 1-year deal. Total worth $19.5 million, but that's with incentives.
Wait, that's what you found?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything.
The total is $13.5.
Oh, okay.
But 10 of it is guaranteed. But with his incentives, if he reaches his bonuses and incentives throughout the season, and most of it is playing time, it will reach $19.5 if he hits everything on a 1-year deal. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm just not a fan of the Band-Aid method. Mm-hmm. Look what happened last year. The Russell Wilson experiment. I know some people liked it, but it towards the end it fell flat on its face because you just can't. There's no continuity with finding just one guy for 1 year and then going to somebody else. And they went backwards in this because Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old, people. Okay. Now, does he probably still have a little bit of juice left in the tank? Probably. Because he pulling the Brett Favre of all Brett Favres. Like, he going to try to go as long as he can to try to maintain his football career. And I get it. Okay. He's a competitor. He was a hell of a football player. I liked Aaron Rodgers up until the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's how I am. So
strong language. The dude's a douchebag, straight up. He has got 2 head coaches fired and a general manager. Okay, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, especially coming to an organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not cool, bro. Like, I'm just solely not a fan of it. I really 1,000% would have rolled with Mason Rudolph and let Will Howard be the backup and learn. And then hopefully 2-3 years on down the road, Will Howard is now the franchise quarterback. Mm-hmm. Will that happen? Who knows now? Because, Mason he got what? 2-year deal?
$8 million.
Yeah. He got a 2-year deal. Who knows if he's even going to be here next year?
Yeah.
And
there's a chance they could even trade him or something. You never know.
And Aaron will probably retire.
Yeah.
If he survives this season. Because
offensive line, how it is. Has question marks still.
Because let's just go ahead and get into it.
Are they going to be able to protect him?
Our offensive line has one person that I would even remotely trust. And it is your most trusting position on your offensive line. Don't get me wrong. Besides your blind side is your center.
Yeah.
Our center is the best on the offensive line. Zach Frazier has all pro written all over him. He does. Yeah. The dude's phenomenal.
See how a year or two goes.
I just really hope he doesn't run into that sophomore wall. Because if he does, then we're definitely in trouble. For sure.
Anything like that could possibly happen. I feel like he's got the work ethic, though.
Oh, yes, he does.
The IQ to where I don't think he'll fall on his face, to be honest with you. I think he's actually legit, and that's just not even anything to do with West Virginia, But
he is
being a homer or anything like that. But I think he'll be fine.
He does have the makings of a Dermontti Dawson and Marquise Pouncey. They're great centers that have played for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's
a brawler.
He does have those traits in him. You've seen that last year.
Yeah.
And with, Troy Fatanu's coming back, but dude ain't played.
Okay? But you don't know. Yeah, and it's still a concern because he's had some injuries in college too. So you don't know how the right tackle.
He was 2 games in and was done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens, but you need the most consistency on your offensive line. Like, your offensive line is everything to what you're trying to do, especially protecting your quarterback. I mean, Broderick does go back to his natural position, thank God. But
I've heard good things, but I mean, like, you
But
know, so
you-
far
but you
with
don't
him being
know.
back, but you still don't know. Yeah,
because
I
you're
agree.
in that period of, it's always the what ifs right now. Like we're hitting the
Yeah.
what ifs of
And you're
the
still
line.
even with the line, you're still struggling with wide receiver too. Like, who's going to be wide receiver two? Like, is it Roman Wilson? We don't know yet. It's another question mark.
Calvin Austin, don't know.
I think Calvin, personally, I think Calvin will be a solid 3. I just don't think he's a number 2. He's just too small to be able to, like, you know,
To handle a wide receiver
to
two
handle
load.
that load.
Yes.
Yeah. He's more of a burner guy. Obviously, we know that.
But
He has
then
speed.
signing another person means losing more money.
Mm-hmm.
And you know where I'm going with this. When's TJ Watt gonna get his money?
Yeah.
Because TJ Watt needs to be paid and he needs to retire a Steeler. Now, I will say this. Would I blame him for leaving if he wanted to? No. Because the
what
Super
have
Bowl
we done for him?
The Super Bowl window is closing, and the NFL has always been, what have you done for me lately? And
TJ's yet to win a playoff game.
He's how old now?
He's what, 32, I think, isn't he? Something like that.
And you haven't even won one playoff game. You've been to one playoff game and lost it in embarrassing fashion.
I've said it for a long time. I wouldn't fault him for leaving because personally, Pittsburgh has done nothing for him.
No, I'm sorry. He's been to 2 playoff games.
In the sense of a team success. So if he wanted to go chase a ring, by all means, I say do it as a fan.
Now,
he's nasty. So.
Do I want him to? No.
Oh, I don't either. I definitely don't.
He deserves to retire in black and gold. He truly does. And it's like Pittsburgh's just you seriously are wasting talent.
Mm-hmm.
TJ is one of the most talented
time too, on top of it.
linebacker / defensive ends in the league.
Yeah.
He deserves more than Myles Garrett money. Because you know how I feel about Myles Garrett.
Well, I think he's better than Myles, and you can say whatever you want because I'm a Steelers fan like anyone out there, but I don't care. I think he's been better than Myles for several years.
TJ is what everybody, he's considered a game wrecker. If you need that one play, TJ. You need that strip fumble, TJ gets it. And also too, it's not just the highlights that people see, it's the things that he does that doesn't get noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The blocking that he does to keep people inside so other people can get tackles.
Right. It's drawing that double team because a lot of times they're at least chipping him or bringing an extra guy to try to control him.
So Alex Highsmith can get what he needs.
Him or Cam Hayward up front.
And I do believe that drafting Jack Sawyer will now
free him
a little bit.
It should.
Because he reminds me of a smaller TJ Watt. He reminds me of him a little bit. So I hope in camp he sticks to him like glue and learns everything he can.
Yeah.
Just like Derek Harmon, you need to stick to Cam Hayward. Because Cam's only got 2 more years in this league.
Yeah.
If that.
Because that will finish out his contract now.
And he's another one. Yeah. He's another one that deserves a Super Bowl. I told you this on the phone the other day, and I say this with the utmost passion. That man, if you cut him open, he's going to bleed black and gold. He is the definition of a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Because I would agree, like you even said, in my opinion, he has, I love TJ to death, but that man, in my opinion, has been the heart and soul of Pittsburgh for years. So.
Yes, he has. 1,000%. Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to say anything else? That man deserves a Super Bowl, and he deserves to be in Canton. Mm-hmm. Will he get there? Probably not. Because your season is always, your career is always defined by what you do as a team and how many Super Bowls you win.
Yeah. I don't know though. Like
Poor guy ain't won
I know
playoff
what you
games.
mean.
You
But
know,
you go by statistically. I mean, he should
statistically,
be in there. Yeah,
he belongs, but Hines Ward belongs, and he ain't got in
he
yet.
isn't in there. Yeah, which actually
And-
still kind of makes me mad. So
And Hines got 2 Super Bowls, an
I know.
MVP of 1.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just to the point to where it's like you're wasting talent at this point for the last 5 to 10 years. And it's like,
I agree. Like, no, I've said that for a while now. Like, I think Pittsburgh, it's just like they're doing enough each year just to get by.
Just to get by.
It doesn't seem like there's any more. It doesn't seem like there is a sense of urgency to get this team where it needs to go. It seems like now we're fighting for mediocrity instead of Super Bowls.
And I told you on the
Every
phone
time,
the other day, I don't blame Mike Tomlin as much. I do blame him for some. I do. I blame the Rooneys for being cheap.
I do think it's definitely partly that, and I do believe
because
it's just time for Tomlin.
You can only you can only get a staff with so much money that you're allotted.
Right.
And no one can tell me that the Rooneys aren't, you have to be able to see that.
Mm-hmm.
As a football family, you have to see the staffs when Mike Tomlin was winning playoff games and won 2 Super Bowls. His staff was good. I mean, we had Mike Munchak as offensive line coach, one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, who is currently sitting on the couch somewhere.
Obviously, Dick LeBeau, you don't have to even really throw his resume out there.
Nobody even needs to say more.
So.
And it's like you're just finding guys that'll take just a couple $1 million just to be on a roster. Like, you're not even trying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have never let Brian Flores walk out the door as a defensive coordinator. He was your linebackers coach.
I know.
Tyrell Austin, what the hell have you done to deserve a paycheck, bub?
Like we said, the problem was, though, they had already signed Tyrell Austin.
I don't give a damn.
Before.
This is where I'm going to go off. I don't give a damn. What have you done?
I agree.
But waste talent.
Yep.
You have wasted TJ Watt. You have wasted Alex Highsmith. What has Minka Fitzpatrick done since you've been here? Nothing.
Exactly.
He had 1 good year, and that was his first year that he signed with Pittsburgh. Joey Porter Jr. does have talent.
But right now, it looks like he's struggling at the moment. So
that dude, I mean, you're getting flagged every 5 seconds because you can't keep your hands off somebody because you're getting burned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then you bring in Darius Slay. Yeah, it's cool. I get it.
But how is that going
the man's over the hill, man. You're bringing in these old guys, and yes, veteran presences are always nice to have. They are. They're very nice.
Another Patrick P. So
just another body on the roster.
Is it going to be another Patrick Peterson ordeal?
Do we need to suffer losing seasons to get built back?
I've been kind of for it. I wouldn't mind seeing Pittsburgh. I know it sounds crazy going 3-14, but dude, at this point, when you're stuck at mediocrity, you're never going to draft high. You're always going to be like number 20, number 21. Like, what's the point? You might as well just, honestly, in a way, like tank a couple years, and that way you can get a quarterback.
But us as fans, and I've always said this, I will never be for tanking.
Yeah.
I can't be.
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not saying like tanking per se, but like just having a bad year, in my opinion, wouldn't be bad at this point. What is it getting us? We get to the playoffs and then we blow it. Like we get destroyed. It's not even close. Every time we have a playoff
tanking.
Game.
Taking plays off, doing this, allowing touchdowns, allowing people to win. As a player, if you do that, you don't need to be playing football. Period.
I agree.
We had wasn't it recently that one guy quit on his team mid-game and walked out?
Are you talking about Antonio Brown?
No, well, that too.
That's where my mind was going to.
But wasn't there another player that just recently just said, I don't want to play anymore, and just literally walked off mid-game whenever they needed him because somebody got hurt and they asked him to go in? and somebody on the I can't remember if it was the Raiders or somebody else, and a player was like, "I don't want to play for a guy like that." No, it was Kansas City. It was Kansas City.
There was somebody, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was Kansas City. He goes, the player was like, "I don't want to be around a guy like that."
Yeah.
I have never seen that in all my years of playing football. Somebody just quit.
Mine would be like maybe not so much like tanking, but more along the lines of maybe it's better just to put in have a year with like Mason or like Will Howard or something like that, and then you just have
Kansas City
your growing pains.
Yep.
Or you have that down year. You know what I mean? That's like I kind of think where I'm going more with it is having a down year, maybe with a young quarterback. I don't know. I just don't see the point in being mediocre anymore.
I don't.
So like, it's not getting them anywhere.
But they're not even willing to take risk on basically on their own quarterbacks that they do have. I mean, again, like you said, they're putting Band-Aids on it. I mean, we already know Russell Wilson, Rodgers, what they've done and where they are in their careers. You know what I'm saying? And I really believe they should allow others to try to do something, because in reality, a lot of times those players don't ever get that time to shine to be able to do anything. Unless you come out this amazing person, you're not allowed to make those mistakes. And I mean, I just really believe they could just give their other QBs they have, because who are you talking about they have on their roster again?
Well, that's what I was saying with you. Like, I have the same thing where I'm kind of like, why don't you just roll with Mason? If it falls apart, first 5-6 weeks, then just throw Will Howard in. Because then at that point, we already know this coming draft class for the quarterbacks is a lot better.
Loaded.
So if Will Howard doesn't seem like he's kind of it from like the little sample size you get from him, then why don't you move on and just draft another quarterback and then make it just an all-out competition again? You know what I mean? With all these young QBs that you have. And who knows? You never know. Will Howard might pan out to be something. Maybe it's just having, his rookie pains. And then who knows?
He definitely won't have those for sure.
On top of that,
schedule we got.
Well, that, and then if you can get somebody else in there, like through the draft, if you actually finish up and you're able to finish up and you're not doing too well and you're able to actually get a high draft pick, then why not? Why not just obviously draft another quarterback, and then you have that all-out competition, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just feel like they're looking more for a fighting chance than taking the risk of what would happen, obviously, and that's back to back at this point.
I'm just looking to get younger at that position. That's all I really want at this point. I just feel like it's a continuation of, let's throw in the old guy, or like we had we had Ben Roethlisberger 2 years, probably maybe a little too long. Then you had Kenny and Trubisky, which they were younger, of course, but obviously they couldn't play. But and then now you went with Russell Wilson. Now we're going back to Aaron Rodgers, and it's like it just seems like the same old, same old.
And that's what it's coming down to now. Is like, are you literally just fine with squeaking by and getting 8 wins now? I really wanted to roll with Mason because I believe that Mason fits Arthur's system better than most.
Yeah.
And Mason does have a good deep ball. He's always been known for that. That's been one of his strengths. And, give the guy a chance. He hasn't been afforded an opportunity. Yeah, when he went to Tennessee, he sucked. But he did almost pass in the 5 games he was with. He passed for over 1,500 yards. And he had the same amount of interceptions as touchdowns, but look what he had to work with in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, he only really had Calvin Ridley.
And he sucks too.
About it. Honestly,
I'm just being honest. There wasn't a person on that roster, wide receiver, running back, anybody wise that I'd be afraid of.
Yeah.
Tajay Spears. No, Tennessee did have good defensive players. I will give them that. They do have some solid defensive players, even though they lost half of them now.
Yeah,
because Mike Vrabel took most of them. But he even stated when he came back, he said, my time in Tennessee made me appreciate what I have in Pittsburgh. He was only there for 1 year and played in 5 games. Okay. So what's that tell you?
But the 5 games that he played, didn't he have a good record in those 5 games?
No.
No?
No, he probably went 0-5, didn't he? Or did he win? Did he win a game or two? Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he won 1 game.
Like 1 game.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know most of the games I saw him playing in, they were getting blown out. So.
And Chris was pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was happy Will Levis got benched, but it is what it is. But just because the situation in Tennessee, we have a way better situation than what they did.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Our 2 and 3 receivers, I don't even know who they would be right now, are better than their number 1.
Yeah.
Just saying. And I'm not even throwing DK Metcalf out there because he'd be better than that whole roster combined.
Yeah.
So you got to give the man a chance here, because then why'd you even bring him back bothering wise? Why would you even bother?
I think they got scared, honestly, at one point. They had to have gotten a little bit of nervous. I mean, because, when certain guys were going off the board, like they weren't signing, like Russ was gone, Justin ended up signing. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because they pissed him off.
Yeah.
I would leave too.
Your options were limited at that point, so it's kind of like, well, at least we can go back to something familiar with Mason Rudolph.
I'd have rolled with Fields.
But I mean, I would have. Well,
Bro was 4-1.
I was going to say, I even would have, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I would have even been all right with Fields this year again. So
better than Rodgers. I mean, shit. I mean,
we just gotta hope that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to stand up in the pocket, because we don't know it. That's the biggest.
I'm just curious to see him play on your team.
Let's just run the schedule. Run the schedule for a minute. Jets week 1. He plays his former team.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled. And it's in New York.
Yeah.
Because Pittsburgh can never open up the season at home. Ever.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, I think they've opened up at home twice. Thank you, NFL.
You have the whole schedule, which I know who they
are. Oh, yes, I do.
You have it pulled up?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, even
because
the Cowboys, too.
It is. Then they play the Seahawks. DK Metcalf's old team.
So do you think week 1 it's a win or a loss? Because I want to go through each game and tell what we think. You think it's going to be a win? I think week 1 will be a win. I'm not really that, and it's not even a shot at Fields or anything, but I'm not that scared of that.
But offense. I also wouldn't be surprised if we lost.
Well,
I would not be surprised.
Like I told you earlier, you know how we always talk. You got to throw in the one Tomlin loss that you just don't think is going to happen to an inferior opponent. Because
if Fields decides to have a, no pun intended, a field day, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall's a load, man.
Oh, I know.
It ain't going to be easy.
How much better did their
And we've struggled with the Jets. For some stupid reason.
Yeah, we did have the game where Zach Wilson somehow ended up beating us.
So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to throw that as a toss-up.
I don't know. I want to say it's a W. I'm being dead serious.
We'll go with that. Seattle. Loss.
You think? Even with who they lost, like Ty Lockett, DK Metcalf. I mean, they have Njigba.
Sam Darnold, that boy going to play pissed off.
You think?
He going to play with his hair. Because he was done dirty. If there was any player probably in the NFL that was done dirty, it's him. Okay?
He definitely was.
Yeah, you shit the bed
in
that playoff game against Detroit. But, I mean, it was Detroit. But you took Minnesota winning 14 games last year?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, it was either 14 or 15.
Nobody seen Sam Darnold coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
But I'm still going to say, Phil, I think it's a win. I really do.
Patriots at New England. Should be a win.
I'll be dead serious, though. See, I want to say it is, But
Should
for
be a
some
win.
reason, Pittsburgh always loses to New England even after Bill Belichick. I'm gonna say an L. I really am. Like I don't know. It's something weird every time they play New England.
Vikings. That's in Dublin. 9:30 in the morning. I'm so thrilled to watch that game.
See, this is the one to me.
I gotta
think
wake up extra early for that one.
When I look at the game, right, that one in particular, that's the one that I kind of feel like is a toss-up for Pittsburgh. Because it's like, what is McCarthy going to do?
See, that's all
At
the
quarterback,
international
you know?
games they're doing this season.
Mhm.
So there's 7 of them.
The Jaguars always get them.
The most that they've ever done. I was looking that up today. I thought that was wild.
So what?
I didn't even know.
That's the one that I feel like is actually a toss-up because I feel like if McCarthy's not that good, then Pittsburgh should be okay. But we do have Brian Fuller as the coordinator, which could be scary on that side of it.
You'll also have a motivated Aaron Rodgers. Should be.
For Minnesota.
Because
it's a win?
We play his whole division.
You think it's
his
a win?
X division. I say that'd be a win. +2, we're in Ireland. Dan Rooney was ambassador. If you lose over there, that's an embarrassment. Like, I wouldn't even want to come back on the plane.
I would like to say win, so I'll go win on the toss-up for me. Because honestly, I think I have us around like 7 and 10, 8 or 9, to be honest, this year.
And
like
total. My favorite time of the year, we got a bye in week 5. Yay.
Yeah, I would rather have it about mid-season or a little later. But
week 8 or 9,
yeah,
I'd take a bye.
That's how usually I am. Now, the last 2 years, they have been blessed with that. Yeah. But this year,
they really blessed us this time.
So.
Then you got Cleveland.
I'll be honest with you. I'm really not that scared about Cleveland because
who is?
I'm just saying they got 5 quarterbacks right now. Who's going to be the quarterback? I mean,
well, they got to cut 2 of them.
So.
And I know Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco ain't going nowhere, so you're going to have to cut somebody.
Mm-hmm. Next one. What is
Cincinnati.
it? Cincinnati.
Thursday night. L.
I think it's an L.
That'll be an L.
I mean, it's just Joe Burrow, dude. Are we going to be able to actually compete?
+2,
is the defense going to show up that night? You know,
you played Cleveland on a Sunday, then you got to turn around and play on Thursday.
On a Thursday, and we all know Mike Tomlin's big. How bad his record is on Thursday nights on the turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been thrown out there.
Now the next one, week 8, this is the one that people are going to be looking forward to the most. It's a Sunday night game.
Green Bay game
against Green Bay.
That's the one I actually kind of want to go to.
Aaron Rodgers could make history by winning this game. If he wins this game, he has beaten every team in the NFL. Yep. There is only, 2 other people that have done it?
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees.
Did Favre do it?
Huh. No, I believe he did. Yeah. Brees, Favre, and Brady have beat every team in the NFL. Even the ones that they've played for because they've gone and played elsewhere.
Yeah.
So Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers could join elite company. And trust me, he'll want to win that game.
Do you think that's a W?
Jordan Love says he's pumped for it.
I mean, you should have.
He should be.
Jordan Love, he should also be because obviously you were the guy that replaced Rodgers.
I had to sit behind that dickhead.
So it's kind of like
for that long.
It's the thing of let me show you what I can do.
Let me show you. Yes, it's always that prove me something. Mm-hmm. This is the game that's another tricky one. Indianapolis. It's Indy always seems to be.
What they do? Didn't they put up a bunch of points on us last year or something like that with Fields?
Well, yeah,
that was the game that they lost.
Yeah, because we knocked one unconscious.
Because then Fields threw for like 300 yards and they still lost. Because the defense couldn't shut down Joe Flacco.
Couldn't stop me.
They couldn't stop Joe Flacco. Remember? Did Richardson get hurt in that game? And then
yes,
Joe
he did.
Came in?
He got hurt.
And then he lit us up.
Like fifth play of the game.
An ex-Raven. That's right. Lighting us up.
Chargers.
So wait. What do you think?
That's a Sunday night
Colts, game. But do you think the Colts is a win or a loss? I'm gonna go win this year.
I'm gonna say that one will be a win.
Okay.
Chargers.
I think it's
My
a
boy.
loss. I think it's a loss.
And that's in LA.
Because now you got Harbaugh's got another year under his belt, dude. That team's going to look better this year.
That team's going to be dangerous in the next.
I don't care what anyone says.
In the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Because Harbaugh ain't stupid. He knows what he's doing.
They got Omari on Hampton now too.
And they got
Najee
Harris. And don't think that boy ain't going to want to run right through us.
Yep. I think it's an L.
He has that game circled on that calendar in a big red red pen.
Chargers got a nice defense too, so.
Then you turn around. I'd say that's a loss.
Yeah, I think it's an L easily.
I think Herbert will pass for 300.
I wouldn't doubt it. So, or they'll somehow beat up our defensive line.
And then coming after that game, you got Cincinnati at home.
I will go with the split. They always surprise me with Cincinnati at least once every year, and it's kind of like Baltimore and Cincy lately. I feel like they tend to split. I want to say a win at home. I'm going to be like, I think the defense, I'm just saying, I think the defense will show up because there are certain games, we always know this. Teams, it seems like when we think they're going to lose, Mike Tomlin, for some reason, plays up to competition when he has to.
Okay. This is another interesting one. Aaron will be pumped for this one. At Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, well, yeah.
He hates Chicago.
See, that's another one I feel like, because it is later in the year, what are we going to see from
you should almost know by this point in time what should happen.
What are we going to see from, I can't think of his first name.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's it.
But having Ben Johnson, do you think he has to be all that as his head coach? I mean, he's probably going to be running the offense.
Yeah.
That could be the scary part. Like,
I'm going to say it's a win.
Still going to say a win?
I'm going to say a win because Aaron Rodgers ain't going he ain't lost to Chicago since Nom, and he ain't going to start
this one's a toss-up for me, too, but I think inside of me wants to say W.
Well, also, too, they're going to want that one to be a win because of what the next game is.
Is it Baltimore?
No. It's a loss before I even say who
Buffalo?
it is. It's Buffalo.
Is it the Buffalo?
And that's a loss right there, and we're going to move right on.
we're
going to truck right on
that one,
because then we're going to have back-to-back losses because the next game after Buffalo is Baltimore, at Baltimore.
At Baltimore?
Loss.
I'm with you on that one, the loss.
Dolphins, Monday night. Our only Monday night game of the year.
I think they should win that.
They'll win that one.
Like, I'm not really, I mean, I don't think Tua is terrible. It's just, I'm not afraid of the Dolphins like that. You know what I mean? I think he's decent. Like, I wouldn't want him personally as my starter, but if I was building a team. But
because then you're on the road back-to-back weeks. Next is Detroit. Loss.
Yeah, I agree.
You're going to get out.
Can you stop Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra?
Montgomery's gone.
Oh, did he leave?
I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Really? I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure he ended up in New Orleans.
That means I need Jahmyr Gibbs in fantasy.
I'm pretty sure he ended up
because he'll be having the whole workload now.
Yeah, you're going to get out coached and outplayed.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Campbell will eat Mike Tomlin for lunch. Sees him coming a mile away.
So
okay, Cleveland at Cleveland.
I'm going with another win on that. So, like, I think we sweep Cleveland this year. They should have last year too, but
you better hope you get back-to-back wins because the last game of the season is Baltimore at home.
I'll go with another win. I'm being serious, just because I feel like every year we think. I know we ended up losing the last 2 games to Baltimore, like towards the end of the year.
Me personally, I think they're going to sweep us.
You think?
I really do.
See, every time I want to say that, it never happens. So I don't know. I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with the win.
We can't stop Derrick. We can't stop Derrick Henry.
But they did the first game last year that they played them, and they won.
Yeah.
If you can.
And you see how pissed off he got.
I mean, I get it, Phil.
That last game was an embarrassment. That was probably one of the worst Steeler games I have ever watched in my life.
Oh, it definitely was.
That literally broke my heart to watch you just
when
get
it's your
ran
rival
on.
pounding your head in every play.
Like getting
Yeah.
ran on. Like Derrick
Defensive
Henry's
line
just
soft.
Lamar Jackson was just having his way. You can't do that. Because now everybody made fun of him because he could never beat Pittsburgh, and now he's like, hey, I'm getting the last laugh now. I hate it.
Well, I'm gonna say he never had
Because
that.
I'm just gonna go say
that
I
type
hate
of
those
offense like
crab
that.
cake eating motherfuckers. I hate them. I hate Baltimore with a passion.
Oh yeah,
Excuse
I do
my
too.
French. I hate them.
Out of anyone
I-
in that
I've-
division, yeah.
I've always
Baltimore's
hated
the same way.
Baltimore. I hate Cleveland. Can't stand them.
Cincy is probably my least hated in the division, even though I don't
I like
them.
Joe Burrow. I ain't got no problem with the dude.
I actually
The
really
dude-
love Joe
The
Burrow.
dude's nasty.
Yeah. But,
And he's got style. Love him. Fuck him. But I love him. You know, because anybody in my division, I hate you. So
would you say like 8-9, 7-10 is probably where we're sitting? Because I have us honestly probably at like 7-10.
well, there's 18 games out of the year. No, we didn't.
Yo. Yeah. I was just randomly thinking that. I was like, yo, hold on a second. So they've been watching.
And no sound.
I wonder if there has been anything. None, right?
Only the most I shut it off.
Just end it.
Yeah,
Does it record at all? Like
it records, but it's got no sound. All we're doing is just sitting here. Looks like we're screaming at each other.